सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। It's explaining what are these two terms, Purusha and Prakriti. What is Purusha and what is Prakriti? Purusha means Brahman. Prakriti is matter, Maya. This is Vedantic understanding of Purusha Prakriti. When you go to this original idea from Sankhyas, there is no Brahman, there is no Maya there. Right? So here we just take it as a synonymous term with that. But in Sankhya philosophy, that is very independent. Purusha Tattva is totally independent. Prakriti Tattva is totally independent. But we have borrowed those words. Now that's what Vedanta does. Wherever it finds a valuable contribution, it will borrow those things. It will absorb all that. It will take all those things and this system will keep swelling and growing. That's how the system is created here, Vedanta. Now, how this Purusha is related to you as an individual, meaning how this Brahma Tattva is connected to you. Principle of God. God principle. What is a link God has to you? That's what we saw in verse number 23. The initial stages, God in your life is just a witness, Upadrishta, onlooker. You don't even call it as witness actually, Sakshi. That is, Sakshi is objectively viewing scenario. That's called a Sakshi. Right? Indifferently you see something, that's called Upadrishta. Seeing happens. Both again seeing happens. But then the entire backdrop is different. Upadrishta is more of indifferent. He doesn't care. Almost like, I have nothing to do with you, man. It's exactly like how you treat your neighbor. Right? A neighbor house, something happens. What of it to you? Some tragedy. At best, what you will say? Highest identification of yours will be what? Ayyo Pavam. Correct? The same thing were to happen in Ukraine, you say what? Is it? Oh, they threw bombs, huh? My God. Next news. You flip the page. That's called Upadrishta. How you read a newspaper is the way God views you. Why he is like that? Remember, God doesn't choose anything. Depends on what you choose, he positions himself. Depends on you. Remember that. On his own, he has nothing. On his own, there is no position. On his own, what is it, Sarna? Silence. Exactly like the echo point. You stand in that echo point, what you will see there? Silence. It is not going to say, I love you, nor it is going to say, I hate you. But the moment you shout, then same thing gets echoed back, throws back to you. If you shout once, echo point you hear 3 times. See, 1:3. Right? That's what Buddha says. I thought I was going towards nirvana. Right? I was struggling and I am going towards it. After a lot of time, after nirvana only, I understood that it is not me who is going, it is Buddha who is coming towards me. Very interesting statement of us. That's what we see in Ramayana. Right? In Ramayana, the basic concept is what? Rama represents Brahman, Sita represents Jiva. Right? The Jiva was captured by Ravana. Right? The Jiva is captured by Ravana, who has 10 heads. What is a 10-headed demon? The body. Housed with 5 sense organs of perception, 5 organs of action. Karma Indriya, Jnana Indriyas. Possessed by desire, lust. That lusty senses has captured the Jiva. Now, who is supposed to do sadhana and get back to the self? It's the Jiva who is supposed to work out, right? Ramayana is a very weird story. Right? Ravana captures Sita, takes her to Lanka. After that, no news of Sita at all. Over about 4,000 verses will go. 4,000 verses, no sign of Sita, what is happening to her, where is she, nothing. Unconnectedly, the story will go to so many things. Okay, man, what happened to that lady? The heroine was captured by the villain and no news. Who is putting all the effort? It is Rama who strives to get back to Sita. What is Sita doing then? She was not even praying. All that she did is what? I suppose you all know Ramayana story, no? The way you are all looking at me like, I am talking something. What was she doing? What did she do? One thing she did. Refused to enter Lanka. Where was she? She is not in the palace. Remember, she was taken to another place. She refused to enter. Where was she now? In a vana, in a forest. What sort of a forest? Ashoka. No sorrow. Amazing. Huh? The name itself is so inspiring. This Ashoka Vana. What sort of a Vana? Ashoka. Hey, she was separated from Rama, no? How is she supposed to be? Full of Shoka, right? But what was her state? Where is she? Ashoka. I don't know whether you people understand that. But you read that story, that name is so, so inspiring. The Ashoka. How she got into that state of no sorrow. She was not enjoying the positive bliss of being with Rama. But she refused to go along with Ravana. So what is it she did? How she had that courage, from where she got it, is the next point. See, primarily, one thing she didn't do. What is it? She refused to get into the palace. All that your effort has to be what? Don't yield to the temptations. Rest of the work will be done by who? Rama will do. Your job is what? Refuse. Develop that vairagya. Once you get that vairagya, things will happen automatic. For that, you have to take a turn from the world, refuse to get involved with the world. When you refuse to get involved with the world, what happens? Process starts. Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatma. You become one with God. Who did all the work? Generally, we believe, I have to put in that effort to get back. We understand here, you are not doing anything, man. Your job is only one thing. What is it? Have that strength to say that I am not going to get involved with the world. The problem we have is what? A little temptation is enough. All that we have to do is what? Say that, class is shifted from one street to the parallel street. Is enough. Is it available online? See, that is called involvement in the world. Little. Suddenly I said, like ages back, I remember. Suddenly, I said, I'm going to change the class timing. Really, suddenly announced the class. Sunday morning class only. From 8 o'clock to 7:30, I'm going to change. Immediately, why? What do you mean, why? Why? What does it mean? You get into a particular pattern. See, anything that has a slight change in that pattern, you can't take. See, there's a tremendous resistance. Our spiritual path means the capacity in you to get adapted and readapted. This adaptation and readaptation defines your evolution. See, that is why over 10,000 years, lions are same. 10,000 years back, that lion and today's lion is the same thing. No change. They can't adapt. Look at humans. How we are able to, harness things from the world is because of the capacity to adapt. And we get adapted to a particular thing, and suddenly one thing changes, you readapt yourself to the new one. Readapt to the new one. Readapt to the new one. That's how cockroaches survive. You can keep, spraying things. That one generation will die. Wait, in another 30 days, you'll see again coming. From where they came, again you spray, it goes and goes away. That's all it is. At best, reaction is that much. You spray on that. You spray on the cockroach also. I'm not, mentioning the brand names. Okay. No promotion supposed to be done, it seems. YouTube rules on. Spray. Maximum is that reaction and goes. How is it, sir? It has the capacity to adapt itself. Adaptation is the thing here. That means you have to change yourself. That willingness to change, to modify, to correct, to transform, that defines you. So he says, the moment you say that I am willing to change, that's where the whole system changes. That's where a student comes. So initially, who is a student? The furthest point of student is what? Newspaper advertisement you see. Gita lecture. Oh, Gita lecture. Let's go. Comes and sits. Of course, he has interest. You can't say he doesn't have interest. Some of them can come and sit for the Gita lecture because there is a fight in the house. Wait. Somewhere go, no? In the house, after retirement, no? People in the house will say what? Don't be inside the house. Go somewhere where you will go free. Gita lecture is free. So, you come and sit. One group. Another group come out of curiosity. There is a curiosity. What is it? Then there is another set of students. This is the third category. First category is coming by default. Nowhere else to go, therefore they are there. Next category has some curiosity. Let's see what he says. Let's see how he interprets Upadrishta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhakta, Maheshwara. This chapter I wanted to hear. My uncle was telling me that, I said, we are doing this class. So that I have completed. He said, you finished that book? Wow. Asked me, hey, why you look so surprising? Because I have not finished it. I've been studying the same book for the last 32 years. 1990, I got one book. 90, I started reading. We are now 24, 34 years. 34 years. We've been reading same book, same lecture, same talk. Keep reading. Doesn't seem to have, completed. Now that you read different books, that's curiosity. This book I have completed. If you are doing, Mandukya Karika, you let me know. You come. What are you going to listen there? What is not there in Kena Upanishad, you are going to listen in Mandukya Karika. But he says what? No, I have completed Kena Upanishad. Now I am going for curiosity. Then there is a third person, third category, who we call as student. First one, you can't call him anything, is there. Second category is curious. Third category is what we call as a student. A student is one who is not interested in the text, not interested in the teacher. They are interested in their transformation. You see, it is not the text, it is not the teacher, it is the personal transformation that inspires the person. Therefore, they come and sit. That's the third category. But then the third category is also not complete. Remember, once you come from that 1 to 2 to 3, now when you come to 1, from Upadrishta, he will turn to Hanumanta. Doesn't matter. By default also you come and sit in the Gita class. Instead of going and sitting in the park, sit in the Gita class. That's better. So the moment you come here, immediately his position changes from Upadrishta to Hanumanta. Right? The sheer association will take you to the next level. Next immediate reaction is going to be what? Curious. What? Something is telling, no? Correct, no? What is this attachment? All this relationships, this is attachment. What is this? Suddenly there is a curiosity. Now, once you get into the curiosity, God will immediately change his position. So when you are indifferent, he is also indifferent. When you come by default, he allows you, as it were. He welcomes. Welcoming. So please come. Then comes the second. Then comes the third personality, where you say, I want to transform myself. The transformation position when you take, when you are inspired by change, I no longer want to be the same person. I should be a transformed individual. Comes. But that is where, when you take the fourth position, where you understand that whatever changes I am trying to make, essentially I retain the same thing. Is it not? Essentially, iPhone is iPhone. Whether it is iPhone 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, it transformed, isn't it? Every edition there is a change. There is an upgradation. There is a lot of features gets added into it. The higher version is better than the lower version. But then essentially it is just an iPhone. iPad is iPad. There's no change in that. Remember, it remains the same thing. Suddenly iPhone doesn't become a refrigerator. That's what I meant. So any change that you are saying, any transformation that is conceived by you, on what basis you will conceive your change, transformation? Any change, according to you, sir, I want to become better. What will be your idea of better? Your idea of better will always be directly connected to your past. Opposite of your past is what you will call as better. Is it not? What do you call as better? Sir, I've been so lazy. Okay. What is betterment? Opposite. I've been so miserly. I want to get better. What is the meaning? I should become a charitable person. Opposite. So when you move to the opposite, so your concept of transformation itself is limited by what? Restricted to your past. So factually, are you transforming? You are not transforming. You are not changing. You are just becoming the opposite. And we know the law. The law of life will not change. This is what the beauty is. The person who has been so miserly transforms himself to become a charitable person. It's just a question of time. He's going to get back to miserliness again. Just a question of time. That's all. Just a question of situation. It's just a question of one problem. One issue comes. You will get back to your old. So your transformation is also not complete, remember. That is why a person who says, I want to become a better person, Vedanta says there cannot be anything more delusive than that. That's a dangerous position. Because you will genuinely believe you are becoming better. According to you, what is better?
It's not what I was.
What I have been, how I have been earlier, sir? I'm not exercising at all. Now, every day if I exercise, I'm a transformed individual. Huh? Remember, all your transformations is nothing but beautification of your ego. That's all you're doing. All that you claim as transformation, better person, self-development, self-growth, wellness, well-being, any word you use. Right? All that is what? I'm beautifying my ego. I'm not eradicating my ego. See, student is one who will try to beautify his ego. He will make his ego more presentable. Right? A seeker is one who will say, I want to eradicate my ego, not beautification. Once you come to that position, that is where from Maheshwara you transform to, you become Paramatma. Right? Now the question will be, okay, sir, done all that. Like they say, Brahma Prayatna, they say, effort. Such a huge effort I put in. What will happen to me if I do all that? Then immediately he comes. The next verse, verse 24. So much of effort I put in, I come here. Verse 24 is where he starts giving the prayojana, the effect. In brief, he gives that. Subsequently, he takes that prayojana and elaborates. That's the following verses. Right? These verses we can understand, we can relate to very easily because it is connected to result. So we will be liking this verse. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Promising, as it were. Verse 24.
य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते य एवं वेत्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते.
He who knows Purusha, spirit, and Prakriti, matter, together with the gunas, qualities, though living in whatever way, he is not born again. This is the prayojana. What is the result of this understanding? Evam Veti says. Veti means knows. Evam means thus. Thus knowing. What? The Purusha and Prakriti. How you have to understand, as he has explained earlier. You have to understand. Now you have one understanding. He is presenting another understanding. Right? Now, which one you are going to take is what the question is. Now, what is your understanding? Your understanding is Purusha plus Prakriti. That is your understanding. His presentation is Purusha separate from Prakriti. All the gunas, qualities, you don't worry. He's going to explain that gunas next chapter. Okay, full chapter is going to explain. In fact, he'll chapter this and then he'll again pick it up in 17 and 18. Much more detailed. Explanation about the gunas we'll see there. Now, he says that Prakriti is mixed with the gunas. Purusha stands independent. So your understanding is what now? Purusha plus Prakriti has gunas. That is you. You have qualities. I am good person. I am bad person. I am very bad person. I am ugly. It is enough. Good, bad, ugly. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Good, bad, ugly. What is Sattva? What is Rajas, Tamas? We will see later. Now, what you have to understand here is, he says, the one who understands the Purusha is separate from Prakriti, matter, which alone carries the qualities. This is the understanding you should have. So, how you have to understand, as he had stated earlier, how he has presented it, he has presented three ideas with reference to Purusha. Basically. What is that first idea you understand about Purusha? Purusha is carrying. Purusha is the one who is really existing. Right? Purusha is Sat. Purusha is Chit. We have seen all those things. I'm only recapping. Okay. Purusha is of the nature of Sat and Chit, consciousness. Right. Sat means existence. What is really existing is Purusha. This is where Sankhya will vary. Remember, I've told you this. Right. Sankhya will say Purusha also existing, Prakriti also existing. Now, Vedanta says no. Purusha alone has the position of Sat. Prakriti has borrowed Sat. Similarly, Purusha is the one who carries consciousness, is of the nature of consciousness. Prakriti has a reflected consciousness. Right? It's only carrying a conditioned consciousness. Prakriti. Right? Now, this Purusha is of this Swarupa, is of this nature. What is the nature? Sat and Chit is the Swarupa of Purusha. We are keeping Ananda aside. Okay? We are not including Ananda here. Because he has not included. Right? I'm only giving what Krishna referred here as a points. He didn't refer. Why he didn't refer, we don't know. Right? You can't go and ask him. He can only explain for what he had said. He can't give an explanation for what he had not said. Like a lot of people ask this question. Why he didn't say that? It's like, if you come and ask me, why you are not put in jail? What answer I will give? Why you are not arrested by CIA? Why should CIA come and arrest? If CIA comes and arrests me, then you can ask me, why CIA came to your house to arrest you? What happened? Then I can give an explanation. Why they have not arrested you? What explanation I can give? Same way. He has said only 2 points. He said, Purusha carries this Sat. Purusha is of Sat Swarupa and Chit Swarupa. Immediately, Prakriti you have to understand. So, parallelly, you understand Prakriti as what? Borrowed. It's appearing to be existing. It is appearing to be conscious. Like we say, body is conscious. How? Body is matter. How can matter be conscious? So it has a borrowed consciousness. First one. Second point he had explained in the earlier verses is the Purusha is the substratum on which Prakriti is standing. The foundation is given by Purusha. Prakriti is dependent. Right? So Purusha becomes the substratum, Prakriti becomes the dependent existent. So dependent factor. So Purusha is an independent factor, Prakriti is a dependent factor. Right. Second point. Third point which we have seen is that Purusha is what I am. So every time you use the word I, that I should be referring to what? Three chances are there. Either you can refer I to Prakriti, or you can refer I to Prakriti plus Purusha together, or I can be referring to Purusha. You're all with me? Prakriti, Purusha plus Prakriti, or rather Prakriti plus Purusha, Purusha in the Prakriti. That's what we understand. Consciousness is in me, is what we understand, no? So our notion is what? This is what? Prakriti plus Purusha. Then you have Purusha. In the three, what are you? Are you the light? Are you the electricity combined with bulb? Or are you the electricity? What are you? Vedanta says, or rather Krishna says, you are electricity. You are not. You are neither bulb nor light. Which is combination? Light is equal to what, sir? Combination of electricity plus bulb. Don't get confused. Okay. Example is this. Prakriti. Purusha plus Prakriti. Yes. Bulb, light, electricity. What are you now? Don't say electricity. Some of them say tube lights. What are you? So what you have to understand here is I am of the nature of Purusha. I am neither the combination nor Prakriti. And Prakriti also you have to understand, he says. That's the beauty. It's not only you should have the knowledge of Purusha, you should also carry the knowledge of Prakriti. It's not that enough saying I am electricity, electricity, electricity and not knowing anything about bulb. That's not what he says. He gives that also very clearly here. He says, he who knows Purusha and Prakriti. So you've got to have the knowledge of Prakriti as well along with it. So what you have to understand Prakriti to be, Prakriti or that Guna plus Prakriti, that combination has birth, existence, death. This birth and death is there for the combination or Prakriti. Prakriti has birth and death. Similarly, the combination will also carry birth and death. Purusha has no birth and death. I am that Purusha. If you have that understanding, then follows everything. That's why first he puts a condition very clearly. Says, he who knows this clarity, the one who has this clarity, such a person, though living in whatever way, we will see that next. That's a dangerous position, statement of his. In whatever way he lives, from now onwards, all of you are free to do anything. You can say, sir, I have that understanding. It's the danger of Vedanta, I tell you. Dangerous subject. No other subject has this danger. All other fields, if you are having a problem, you can go to a psychiatrist and get yourself cured. Not a problem. If you study Vedanta and go to a psychiatrist will go to another psychiatrist. But you will not get cured. Nothing can be done. Once you have this knowledge, because it's so easy to justify. See, and no one can break the logic because he's making very clearly, though living in whatever way. You can live in any way. Doesn't matter. Still, what, sir? Not born again. Our problem is, so what? When you are enjoying birth again and again, to come and tell you not born again, you say, yeah. So you will not take birth, then it's boring, no? People talk Vedanta all the day. Life is beautiful, sir. Two tragedies hit you, then you will know. Life is beautiful. No, one pinprick is enough for you to lose. Life is beautiful. I remember my father, which is an amazing man. There are a few occasions where I really admired him. Not all the time. A few occasions where I really, my God, what sort of a fellow man? A 10th result came. Line porta. I'll check the exam.
You started.
Started that. No, there's a problem now. The tragedy. This 10th result, those days the results will come in the newspaper. So, result day we went and bought the paper. We checked the number, it was not there. I said, check another paper. My friend told, for what? If you have to buy another paper, another, 1 rupee you have to pay. Because that's very expensive. Because that's a noon edition. And they know everyone will buy. So, it's expensive at that time, those days. Result. He said, Edukku.
Okay.
Because he knows that fellow. Say, now what to do? So we had to go and announce in the house. Quietly he came. Silently he come now, everybody goes in the house. What is the result? Oh, my father, Enada. Illa. I said, it's not there. Sari ukare. I said, I said, give me massage. They started giving him, head massage. 1 year you can do this, no? There's no other choice those days. 1 year you have to be at home. And my father is a, Tamil Nadu, that association is there, Teachers Association President. Right. He's a president of the Teachers Association. And you go to any village, any school, you go and tell my father's name, everybody knows. Oh, hurrah. Say, oh my God. And about 70% of them know that his son is appearing for public exam. Double tragedy. Right. I wrote my 10th exam. Same year, my brother did his 12th exam. That number also missing. Right? Both. I said, and amazing, I tell you. Now, it's a tragedy, right? The best part is, not a single fellow had come to the house but not said this. Sir, there's something wrong, sir. Somebody must have really conspired against you. The conspiracy theory. Somebody must have conspired to see to it that both your sons fail. That's what he says. Whatever happens, even your failure will become what? Become like, my God. Say, aduvum nandru. It's also good. Say, failure also is what? A tragedy can come. It's such a, for us it doesn't make much of a difference. But what was surprising to me was, dad didn't get perturbed at all actually. You'll see. Because how he is going to stand and speak to people. Because anything he makes a statement, immediately they'll say what? First go and check your sons, then talk to us. Such a big, black mark for him. Nothing will happen. You don't care. That is what he means by sarvata. Whatever be the situation, you are not born again. Means nothing is going to be disturbing you. That's the meaning of it. You are free from sarvata varta. So anything that happens, you may be living in any situation. Whatever be the situation, you are not going to be affected. Whatever way you are functioning is also not going to disturb you. You could be in any position. In the very, very orthodox, traditional way of understanding will be, you can be belonging to any of the varnas or any of the ashram. Doesn't make a difference. That means you can be anywhere and gain this realization. You see, these are the clues we take from the position of the scriptures. There's a big thing they say, oh, this knowledge is meant only for selected few. Where is it? There is a clear statement. Though living in whatever way. Whatever way means what? Way of living is there. In any way of living. What is a way of living? There's only two ways you have. Social, individual. Social division is what? Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. Right. Individual division is Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Right. Then you have how a Brahmin Brahmachari should live is very different from how a Vaishya Brahmachari is supposed to live. You see, you can't have the same, let's say. He says it doesn't make any difference. You can be anywhere in this tabular column. All that you have to do, life is divided in the tab. You just have to tell this. And then they have two versions of that. One is, if you are a male, if you are a female. In those days, they had only two genders. You know how many are there now? Any clue?
10.
96. 96 are there. I have the list with me. Unbelievable. I don't know how they create 96 words they have created. This is a fascinating one. No, 96. In those days, they had only 2. They are primitive, no? They are advanced. So we'll have 96. In down the line, another 20 years down the line, it will be 206. Down the line, as many individuals are there in the world, 8 billion population, 8 billion will be there. In those days, they made life in a simple pattern, a broad category. Yeah. So they had this division. It can be belonging to any one of those divisions, doesn't make any difference. So one way of understanding is this orthodox method. Another way is in a liberal way. Liberal way means any situation. You may encounter any situation, you're not going to be disturbed. Why you're not going to be disturbed? Because you don't have any desire. That's all. You're free from desires. Therefore, nothing happens to you. See? So he says, though living. Now we move to the next idea. Though living. Though living means there are 2 principles are there. 2 great presentations are there with reference to mukti, with reference to liberation. One school is Jivan Mukti. Another school is Videha Mukti. The Jivan Mukti school is what is most popular one. What is Jivan Mukti? When you are alive, you get realization. That's called Jivan Mukti. Videha Mukti is realization happens after your death, not before. Till you die, you can't realize. You are not realized. This is another school. Most of these masters have subscribed to the Jivan Mukti school only. Videha Mukti school, hardly people who have taken, because that is highly theoretical in nature. It is not a practical, verifiable. Jivan Mukti is possible, verifiable. Videha Mukti is neither possible nor verifiable. Simple logic. Imagine Mukti is possible only after death, not before. Right? How did this fellow got to know? You're alive, right? Which means you're talking about Mukti is possible only after death. Now, who told you that? So straight away that theory, goes difficult. But then there is a theory. What is that? You live, you do your sadhana, you get realization, and it is not that once you get realization, you die immediately. There is a period. After realization, you live for a period of time. See, Krishna is referring to that period here. Though living is an indication of what? Krishna is subscribing to the idea of Jivan Mukti. He doesn't believe in Videha Mukti. You're all with me. So he says, though living in whatever way, though living means he is a Jivan Mukta till the period of Videha Mukti, till that Mahasamadhi. So there are 2 types of samadhis you experience. First one is the initial samadhi, Jivan Mukti Samadhi. At that time you have samadhi. Yes. Then what is driving his life? Before realization, the driving force of your life had been your desires, your Sanchita Vasanas, technically. Right? Post Jivan Mukti, your Sanchita Vasanas were wiped off. What is left out is only your Prarabdha Vasanas. So whatever course that Prarabdha Vasana takes, his life will keep moving. Therefore, Krishna says, though living, within bracket, propelled by his prarabdha vasanas, he will move whatever way that prarabdha vasana takes. Which means for any actions that is executed post Jivan Mukti state, he is not going to develop further desires, further vasanas, further punya, further papa, nothing of that. Nothing will exist. So, because right now our birth is decided by our desires, vasanas, punya, papa. Or put it this way, vasanas, punya, papa, desire. The vasana you can't understand. Punya, papa also we don't know. Right? There's no way you can verify. What is the quantum of punya you have? No, you can't verify. Papa, forget. No, punya itself not possible. Where you will count papa? We can only infer the possibility. Remember, we only infer punya, papa, but there is no direct this one. Now you may say inference, I don't believe, sir. Then you should not believe in atom bomb also, because nobody has seen the atom. You know that, no? They have seen the effect of the atoms. From the effect of breaking that atom, we understand the existence of atom. See, so it's only inferential understanding. It is not a perception. Similarly, inferentially you understand, you must have had a great-great-grandfather, no? Have you seen? Has anyone of you have seen? Grandfather you would have seen. Great-grandfather also, there is a vague possibility. Vague memory you may have. His father? Since you have not seen that father, if you argue, he doesn't exist. He'll say what? You may not know who he is. Do you know his name? Great-great-grandfather's name. No clue you have. So you don't know his name, you don't know his personality, you have never met him, you have never seen him. Therefore, you're not able to introduce him to me. Therefore, if I tell you, since you can't introduce your great-great-grandfather to me, my conclusion is he never existed. He doesn't exist. Next class you will not come. This class itself you are sitting because of, you blabber not to this extent. It doesn't work that way, isn't it? So in life, many things we understand through inference. We infer and understand many things. What is inference? Inference means only this. Inference means you see the effect, understand the cause. That's called inference. Anumana. Anumana pramana they call it as. Inferential conclusions. So punya papa, to some extent you can infer, but then there is no way you can actually call it, because suddenly you can call it as coincidence also. Chance also you can say. So one person can say chance, another person can say punya. Now who is correct? See, per chance you are born in this, that's about it. It's not because of your punya, it's not because of your papa. If I say, now how can you deny that? Logically. So the only source we have to understand punya, papa is through scripture. That's why we call this as Shabda Pramana. It's an independent Pramana we take. We don't believe in punya papa because of Anumana. It is because of Shabda or Agama Pramana. Some call it as Agama Pramana, some call it as Shabda Pramana. That's an independent Pramana that is. So through that alone we can understand the existence of it. But desire you can understand. You see, vasana you cannot. Punya papa you cannot. But desire you can. So we say the source of that desire is called as vasana, is referred as unmanifest desire. What is vasana? Vasana means unmanifest desire. So through this unmanifest desire, manifestation of that desire is what is causing your birth. So your birth as well as your death, both are triggered by what? Triggered by this combination. What is the combination? Vasana, punya papa, desire. Or what you put it as vasana plus punya papa. Within bracket, next to vasana, put desire. Because desire is nothing but expression of vasana. So same vasana, manifested desire. So it is the same thing. It's like seed and tree. Seed is vasana, tree is desire. So as the seed, so the tree. Similarly, as the vasana, so will be the desires. So from desire, we can understand what sort of vasana you have. This is possible. This has a direct thing, because no other way to give an explanation why this desire is there in me, why not that desire. Listen, some people have that great passion for few things which we don't have. Sometimes we wonder also, how can a fellow have such a desire? How can you be passionate about this? Of all the things, why are you so passionate about this one? You can't explain. So he has that desire. So when he has a particular desire, that desire must have a cause. அவளுக்கு என்ன தெரியும்? Have a cause. So a desire cannot come without a cause. So what is that is triggering? Vasana is the one which triggers that thought in you. That thought consolidates, becomes a desire. This is the stage. Vasana, thought, desire. That desire drives you to do certain actions. Right? When you do those actions will necessarily create a consequence. Correct? That consequence is divided into two categories. One is perception, another one is perceptible, another one is imperceptible. Right? Drishta, adrishta. Adrishta, don't call it as luck. A lot of people call it as luck. It's not luck, please. Adrishta means imperceptible. Drishta means perceptible. Adrishta means imperceptible. So every action has a consequence. The consequence of that action is what? That is where the division comes. That imperceptible consequence of your action is divided into two categories called punya and Papa. Punya Papa comes. What is causing that Punya? What is causing that Papa?
Good deed, bad deed.
Action. What causes action? Desire. What causes desire? Thought. What causes thought? Vasana. So essentially, what is it, sir? Even this Punya Papa is also what? Is the result of your Vasana only. You see that? So initially I said there are three, then we clubbed it into two, and finally we bring it to only one. What is it, sir? Your Vasanas. As your Vasana, so will be the thought, so will be action, so will be desire, so will be action, so will be consequences. Vasana, thought, desire, action, consequence. This is the sequence. Now he says, though living in whatever way, means though the person may be executing any sort of actions which is perceptible to all of us, we can see what he is doing. We cannot see what is the desire, what is a thought, what is a vasana. He can see what is the desire, what is the thought. Even he cannot see what is the vasana. You're all following? All of us can see two things. What are the two things we can see? The consequence, that also we can see only which consequence, sir? Perceptible consequence. Imperceptible consequence we cannot see. Perceptible consequence. What is imperceptible consequence? You will never know that. So, one extreme, which is consequences, perceptible, imperceptible, this extreme is there. Punya Papa. This extreme, Vasana. Both are imperceptible. Both you can understand. That's where we need the Shastra. In between, you can understand all this. For anything in between, you don't require Shastra. Your intelligence is enough. Your buddhi is enough. Your intellect is enough for you to. You can observe yourself and observation, self-analysis, all those things enough. So far as perceptible, consequence, action, desire, thought. Shastra is not discussing any one of these things. Shastra comes into picture to educate you on that side and this side. So one hand you will see this discussion, on the other hand you will see this discussion. That's where many get confused when they come to the Shastras. When you come to the scriptures, they will get totally confused. People talk this suddenly, that suddenly, what is going on? What is the consequence? Action which is perceptible. Action which is creating a consequence which is imperceptible. Like many of you, I say imperceptible action, perceptible action, you may not understand. What is it? You do an action and we don't understand the consequence. You see, many a times we do things innocuously we will do. And you don't understand the gravity of the karma that you have to encounter. Like in the lectures, we have seen this. And Swamiji giving a lecture. When somebody's phone rings, somebody walks in, walks out, creating disturbance. Now he will get so annoyed. I just really wonder why he's getting, such a short-tempered fellow or what? He's not short-tempered. That's compassion. You don't understand. Because when there is a congregation is there, in concentrating on something which is not easily comprehensible, easily understandable, right? When somebody is attempting to do something higher, you disturb that, what are you? Hmm? Who does a disturbance in the yajna? That's what the problem is. He may think, sir, I'm getting a phone, I'm getting up and going. Anyway, it's a free lecture only, no? Right. Now he doesn't understand, because he is getting up and he is walking, around him about 7-8 fellows who are trying to concentrate lose their focus, lose their concentration. Right? You disturb someone who is engaging themselves on the higher, it's a karma. And it's a grievous karma. Now you will not know how it will come back and boomerang on you. Remember, that's why we are so conscious about things. That's how we accrue papa. Say, what sin I have done, what wrong I have done in my life. All that I have done is only good. No, I've been good to everybody. I've been nice to everyone. You may say all those things. But then one innocuous action you do, which is totally, the same way, punya also. One gesture, one action you do, you may not even consider that as a great value, but to that person, that's a great value. For you, it is nothing. Give, man, go. I just gave, blood donation because I'm told, it's healthy for my body. Keep giving blood is good for you. So I give. To you, it may not, but to that person, saving their life. You see. Now, that consequence of that action of yours will be added to whose account? Your account only it will come, no? How can it go to somebody else's account? The one who is managing that accounts and settling your accounts is the job of God. That's why we call him as Karma Paladapa. For all your karmas, he is the one who is keeping the records. Not that he is literally looking at everyone and making a note and all that. He has created a system, automated system. See, you execute action, everything is automated after that. Automatically it will go there, it will go here, it will come here, it will come here, it will get added to your account, and it will get added to your account, and it will know exactly when to give it to you also. It will get added there, but it will not be immediately supplied to you. Result will not be given to your hands straight away. It will get added. Your punya as well as your papa gets added. Now he says, though living in whatever way, he is not born. Means he may execute so many actions, but he doesn't gain any punya or papa nor any vasanas. No vasana, no punya papa for him. But he is doing action. What sort of action he will be doing, sir? What is driving that action? Prarabdha vasanas will drive his action. Not his self-effort, not his willingness, not his free will, not his purushartha. Then what is driving the force? Driving force for his life is prarabdha. And the problem is this now. One fellow is smoking. One of the students here in Bangalore fellow. I said, stop the class. The fellow is smoking. So this guy asked him, another student, attending Vedanta class, you're smoking. My prarabdha, prarabdha is to smoke. So I am smoking. This is what I meant. Dangerous subject Vedanta is. Now what can you do to him?
This not disturbing others comes under Arjava.
Sorry?
Arjava comes under that.
No. It's not Arjavam or anything. I am a murderer. It's not Arjavam. You see? Arjavam is not that place. Arjavam is a state of where your thought, your mind, your actions straight line. That's called Arjavam. Not speaking. Whatever comes in my mind, I talk. That is not Arjavam.
No, I mean non-disturbing others.
The smoking is not disturbing others.
No, not about that. You were talking about not disturbing others by taking a call or whatever. So maintaining.
Who decides that?
Comes under Arjava.
Who decides? Not disturbing. Who decides? I decide. Finished. Who is the decision authority there? Not disturbing. Quietly I am walking out, sir. He will say that. He will say, see, I did not take the call inside, no. I'm taking the call outside only, sir. In fact, I have kept the phone on the silent mode, not even vibration mode. I didn't want to disturb everyone. So what did I do? Like how he went, you all saw, no? How he went from here to there. Camera is here. Now why you have to bend there? Walk straight, no. Whether he walks straight or he walks bending doesn't make any difference. All of you are looking at me or looking at him. Of course, that doesn't mean karma, okay? Before class that was. So that is okay. It's fun. You see? But, like I have seen, these music concerts. I remember this Palkat Mani one, few fellows were getting up and leaving when they start the Tanya Vardhanam. That Mridangam, they'll play alone, solo. Lot of people get up and go. If you want to get up and go, don't come. Don't go there. Because to play for that 5 minutes of the Davartanam or 10 minutes of the Davartanam, how much of sadhana that fellow has done? So, by you just getting up and leaving, what are you telling him? All his sadhana, all his effort for him to learn, all that in your eyes is what? My call is far more important than your 20 years of sadhana. Have you got the curd? I have to go and buy the curd. The curd that you have to go and buy is far more important than 20 years of that man's effort. That's easy. See that? Vasana, thought, desire, action, consequence. See you next class.